In this question, we are introduced to Peruvian economist Hernando De Soto, who noted that there's a relationship between economic successes in countries that include protective policy measures over property rights. And we're asked, why might this be the case? So why do increased protection of property rights increase economic growth in developing a low-income country? So in order to consider this, I would take you back to the production possibilities frontier. So let's say I have two goods. Let's say I can grow, I don't know. Let's say I can grow cattle, C, or I can invest, I. So with my time, I can invest in the market or I can raise my cattle. So let's say I am an economically efficient person. So I'm going to pick a point, let's call this point A, that is on the market. It's on the production possibilities frontier curve. So I'm able to use some of my time for cattle and some of my time for investing. Because of that, I have an economically efficient point. Now, however, let's say I need to use some of my time to protect my cattle because we have a band of hunters, and those hunters are trying to steal and or kill my cattle and claim it for their own. So I'm going to have to use some of my time to protect my cattle. So that takes me from the production possibilities frontier boundary to the interior of the curve at point B. So because I now have to use my time, I have less time for actually growing the cattle. I now have to use my time to protect the cattle. Additionally, that really just reduces my economic efficiency. So in a country that has property rights, this isn't the case because if there's property rights, I don't need to protect my cattle because there's less risk of losing my cattle. Because what happens if you steal or kill my cattle? You go to jail. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200. You go to jail. So when we consider economic development, what can I do with this extra money that I would get from raising my cattle? Let's say I don't want to just raise cattle anymore. Let's say I want to invest now. So if I'm going to invest, now I've got all this extra money to invest, and that also increases my productivity. So as I shift from cattle to investing, I'm able to eventually get a larger return. Originally, I had to be watching my cattle the whole time because if not, they would be killed. But because I don't need to watch my cattle anymore because someone will go to jail if they steal them, I'm able to use that time to invest. Another example to make sure that we really got this honed down. So let's say I am a banker and this in this curve I can do one of two things. So I can invest or I can loan money. So let's say when I invest, let's say I pick a point that uses equal combinations of both. I'm going to invest my money and I'm going to loan out the rest. The investments are going to make me money and the loans are going to make me money. But let's say there's no property rights, so people just default on their loans and there's no consequences. So what happens? I'm going to get shoved all the way over here because now I'm not going to be able to make as many loans because there's no guarantee that I can even get my money back. So why would I loan you money when I'm just going to lose it? And what does that show you? We're on a lower, sorry, wrong button. Did not mean to do that. So I'm on a lower production possibilities frontier. So essentially, property rights enable economic efficiency. So I'm going to diagram that like this. Property rights imply economic efficiency. And why is economic efficiency good? Because it enables economic growth. If we are utilizing all of our resources, that enables consumers to have more control over what they purchase. Remembering that if consumers spend money, then that means that the economy improves. So, what have we learned right now? Hernando De Soto noticed that there was a relationship between economic success of countries that include policy measures over property rights. Summarizing again, if you protect my property, the economy improves. Why is that the case? Because it increases our economic efficiency because we don't need to safeguard the property and no one will steal our property. And therefore that lets us go into more productive endeavors. This will come into effect when we talk about the macroeconomy.